Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Sharc Energy's YouTube channel. I am here once again with Lynn Mueller, the CEO of Sharc Energies. How are you doing this Saturday, Lynn?
Really good, Michael. Always great to catch up with you and the investors on Sharc.
Agreed. You told me it's a really rainy day there, which makes me really jealous because I'm just looking outside and I just see a bunch of snow.
Yeah, it's been a normal Vancouver spring day. The daffodils are up, and I cut my lawn yesterday when it was sunny, and I like to always send pictures back home to the prairies where it's usually freezing cold of me cutting the lawn sometime in the normal winter there.
A little bit of jealousy going on, but that's okay. Anyway, so what's been going on with Sharc this week?
Well, we had a really exciting week, Michael. We were able to close on a financing. So $1.7 million was raised on a convertible debenture with a 2% interest rate. So I think it really shows that the interest in Sharc is real when people are more interested really in the upside of the stock than the interest rate. So a 2% rate is really an exciting step in the Sharc family, and it cashes us up now to where we can really start to go forward.
That's good. This should then slingshot you guys forward some.
Absolutely. The first thing we did is put the material on order for 50 piranhas that we're going to need to make for the market. So, if you'd asked me a few years ago, would we build 50 piranhas ever? I would have gone, I don't know. But now we're building them 50 at a time. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, if you're building 50 at a time starting now, and we're just in February, it looks like 2020 is really going to have a positive outlook there.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident to say that the interest is there. It amazes me every day in the office. I was talking to Brock, one of our inside sales guys, and he had a stack of 20 projects he's working through to get pricing on. So unheard of in our short time here at Sharc. So I think it's just a sign of things to come. And one of the most pressing issues I have now at the office there is adding a little more inside help to make sure we don't have our wait times go out of skew.
That's true. It's all about scaling and proper scaling, which you guys seem to be taking care of with the financing too.
Yeah, I think the financing really is going to be used very wisely, and is going to get us to that next level. So, big day for Sharc, and then we were talking earlier off of the air here, but we just announced last week too that we leased a couple of Sharcs to the city of Vancouver, and that is in the largest waste heat recovery system in the world. And it serves from, people in Vancouver can relate from the Cambie Street Bridge all the way to Knight Street on 2nd Avenue, which is about a 5-mile loop.
Wow.
So I think it's 57 high-rise buildings are attached to that system for heat. And it's a hybrid system. So the base load is supplied by the waste heat leaving from downtown Vancouver, and the rest of the heat is made up with high-efficient gas boilers. And their plan is to quadruple the size of that 5 million square foot area to 20 million square feet, and increase the size of the sewage heat recovery system. So great news there. Sharc is the operating system in there. And when we first went to the city, Michael, they were slightly skeptical of our ability to perform with the kind of flow numbers we had. And quite frankly, it afforded us an opportunity to test our equipment on a large scale, which we really couldn't find anywhere else. So we were testing there for about 1.5 years to really prove we work. And the results have just been absolutely phenomenal. Like we screen raw sewage better than anybody in the world. And I don't care who you are, you can't screen sewage like we can. So, it was a fantastic exercise. Now they're actually using the units part of their operation and planning hopefully to add more when the plant expands. So great stuff there in downtown Vancouver.
Yeah. What's interesting about skeptics is it really just gives you a chance to show what, to put your money where your mouth is, which if you're a quality project like Sharc isn't exactly a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, it's really great. And I had a chance this week to meet with the ex-mayor of Vancouver, who was the mayor when that system was installed. And his name's Gregor Robertson. And we were at a Clean 50 event for the Globe Show this week in Vancouver. And Clean 50 is kind of like the Hall of Fame in Canada for crazy inventors like myself of technology and implementers. So I was inducted into that in 2016, but we had our function there. But anyway, I digress. But back to Mayor Robertson, is I said, I went up and I shook his hand and I thanked him for, starting out there at Falls Creek. And he was quite amazed that Sharc had now spread all over the world with a technology he really, really loved when he put it in there, and making a huge effect on the carbon footprint of the world.
Yeah, I imagine. Going back to the whole jealous of what you got going on over there. Over here in most of these cities in America, we have virtually nothing like that. We're not doing anything to recapture lost energy, and we just spend energy like it's pennies.
Well, I think that's the way business used to be in North America. But I think you're in Akron, Ohio, there, and I know the area well. I used to live on the other side of Lake Erie, there in Leamington. Spent a lot of time at Put-in Bay and Cedar Point or something, the amusement park with the kids. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's coming. All of those cities have committed to a greener future. And I think a lot of those cities are committing to sewage heat recovery. 5 out of the 7 major communities here in Vancouver have sewage heat recovery systems planned. Wow. So, what was kind of an unheard of technology now has become, I wouldn't say mainstream, but is on the path to become, mainstream.
Yeah, and as we it's kind of mentioned again and again and again, but it's also true that we're finally to the point where it's just better for the business to go forward with the green energy now too. They're not wasting money, they're saving money.
Absolutely. And, I think the minute you mention green energy, Michael, everybody sort of tenses up thinking, my God, my bill's going to increase. So I was in Alberta this week and I visited a hotel called Hotel Arts. And the economy in Calgary in particular isn't good. But you look at this, Hotel Arts was an old Holiday Inn that needed refurbishing and really had sort of been run down. But what I admire about Albertans and Canadians in general is their resilience. So the people came in, bought this old hotel, cleaned it up, and they've absolutely made that a place people want to go. They have over 80% occupancy rate. They covered the pool, like just absolutely ingenious. And people want to come there. I walked in, the place was buzzing and full. And they had spent about $500,000 replacing their windows. And I was talking to the manager, and he was very interested in sewage heat recovery right away. And I said, well, for $100,000, you could have installed a Sharc system to recover the energy going down the drain and save about $20,000 a year. The window and about 200 tons or more of carbon. The windows cost them $500,000 to install, really negligible savings and about 10 tons of CO2. So, that really encourages me that Sharc is not only green, but it's efficient and saves money. The fact you can use the same energy every day is not a bad deal either.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's really interesting that you can do that, where you can say, hey, look, you guys already did this thing in hopes of saving some money and being more efficient. Our system does this, but literally better. And then there's almost nothing they can say in response besides, you guys should probably help me get one. Yeah,
we're going to work together. I mean, Mark, the manager there, obviously very in tune with what's going on. And they had joined a group called Green Key, which is an organization to help hotels green up their operations. So they had got rid of little bars of soap, and they encourage you to use a towel more than once. And all of those things sort of amount to a very small, 5 ton a year sort of greenhouse gas savings. So when he heard that they could recover the waste heat leaving the building and save money, and a couple hundred tons of carbon. He was really excited. I'm confident that in the future we will be installed at the Hotel Arts building, and I'm going to stay there because it's just this vibrant, really, really cool hotel now. So, I just admire people that just take a problem and solve it.
Yeah, agreed. And well, I bet you admire it because that's literally what you do too. So makes sense. Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah, except he's a lot younger than me, Michael. So his progress is going to be a lot greater. But I love it, and I love what we do. And it was a tough year or two here, sort of waiting for the market to catch up to us. But thank God for the fact that it has, and the future is outstanding for us. My belief. So I was addressing a bunch of energy people in Calgary, and you can't get any more oil and gas in Calgary, and they're going, this is a pretty good idea. And the green energy business doesn't want to eliminate everything that we need from oil and gas. We just want to reduce. It's not eliminated, it's just reduce the use. We don't want to deal with a plastic. Your glasses would just be like a monocle Colonel Klink used to wear. But we need petrochemicals, but maybe we don't need all the emissions.
Correct. Yeah, we definitely, I would say we just lean on it way too heavy, right? And it's something that we're going to break, but we're not going to break it by doing nothing.
Yeah. And your average person is thinking about it. So if you're a young person, you're having children, you worry about their future. If you're an old fella like me, you worry about your grandchildren's future. You were talking about your significant other, and pretty soon you'll have more than yourself to worry about. So it's a great thing. And speaking of that, I'd like to congratulate Saskow on our board of directors, who his wife just had a beautiful little baby girl 14 days ago. So we've added the Sharc family.
Congratulations, Saskow.
And another thing I wouldn't mind just chatting about briefly is the Sharc's philanthropic approach to a little group in Vancouver here. It's called the Guerilla Soup Project. And what Eudora and her group at Guerilla Soup do is they make soup, and then we serve it on the street in downtown Vancouver in Skid Row every Sunday evening. So I just missed my first Sunday when I was in Orlando last week. So in the last 3 years, I've been there every Sunday. So we make up this wonderful, delicious homemade soup, go right there on the street and serve it. And last, I guess a week before last I missed, but last week we served about 550 souls down there. And Michael, but for the grace of God, goeth I. But these are good people. They got problems, but I enjoy going down there. It's very, very uplifting, and Sharc supports the project with money, and I go there and work every day. Good thing I'm not making the soup; I merely stir it, so it's actually pretty good. But it's really, really cool. Sharc is committed to a lot of great things, and the community is one of them.
Yeah, a sad stereotype that kind of exists, and maybe it exists for a reason. A lot of people think of businessmen as soulless suits, right? Caring only strictly about the profits. And maybe that's kind of the image that has appeared, because some of those people tend to have a lot of success if they just focus purely on profits. But that's not everybody. And a lot of people like you understand that there's the soul of it. You have a soul, and you need to nurture it, and you need to help other people too. It's more than just business.
Yeah, and the average person on the street there's maybe not what you would think. Like, these aren't a bunch of uneducated people. They're people that really in a bad situation, and then it just got worse. And the sad thing is, a lot of them will never recover. But you as a paramedic, who I admire greatly, see that every day. And just where we served soup on the street the other day, there was a poor woman being put in a body bag. But it kind of reminds me of my social responsibility as well, that, if I can do anything to help in climate change or in these people's lives, I sure want to do it. So.
Yeah, fair enough. And, you can't change people's decisions, but you can help their suffering.
Yeah. Yeah, and we won't dwell on that too much, but yeah, I feel good every time I leave there. Like it's 6 or 7 hours well spent on a Sunday for me, and I'm on a first name basis with 500 of my closest friends down there, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, that is really wonderful, man. And if anyone's watching, don't be afraid to reach out. You could reach out to Soup Kitchens. You could do many things to help the world.
Yep. Come down and help me serve soup. It'll make you feel good.
Yep. And speaking of you going on outings.
The other day, Michael, it was raining like crazy, and I happened to be talking to a 65-year-old man who had just become homeless. And the poor guy didn't even have a raincoat, so he walked away there with mine, and I was soaked, but I was able to dry out. So it's a wonderful feeling. But Sharc is part of it, a big part of it, and I have a video called Guerilla Soup Project, and I had a video shot of these incredible young ladies down there doing their thing. So if anybody wants to see it, just let me know and I'll post it.
Yep, we can probably stick it in the link below in the description too, so you can click directly on it when you watch this video. On top of that, we also were talking before about watching you walk through a building with one of the Sharc systems installed. Would you be able to do that sometime soon for us?
Yeah, let's shoot for maybe next week, and I'll get a GoPro and I'll do a running commentary of how Falls Creek works, and then we'll slip over and do a look at the largest apartment building in the world that has Sharc equipment right now is 1,050 apartments. So we'll do a walk through there and people can see just how simple it is.
Sounds good. All right, Lynn, thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure. If anybody wants to join the conversation, don't be afraid to comment below. We've already had Lynn answer someone's question in deep detail, and you can join the Telegram too, and he responds in there all the time.
Great, Michael. Well, you have a good week, and we'll look forward to your conversation with me next week.